Marriage is beautiful, regardless of what yours is going through right now, because that is the marriage that God created. And I also want you to know that there are so many challenges, and every marriage faces its own challenge, even that which you think doesn't have any challenge. As it is in heaven. Welcome to my channel. My name is Miriam, and I am here once again to share with you on tips that we need to put in to marriage to make sure that our marriages are working smoothly and, of course, by the grace of God. So today we are here to learn about a few tips that we can put on. You know, as we've always said, that there are challenges that come through into marriage, but we have a lot of work to put in to make sure that our marriages are working. Each party has their own role to play. As a husband, you have your role to play. As a wife, you have your role to play. But today I want to speak to specifically women in marriage, 10 years and below, because here is where you find so many challenges of marriage, challenges of every kind. And it's where we talk about forming a foundation for your marriage. So there are a few tips that I want to share with us that I have seen them helping me, and maybe you can apply it in your own marriage. And by the grace of God, we believe that your marriage is going to take another step, or it is going to move to another level. So I want to share a few tips that I've seen working in my own marriage for the last 12 years in marriage. As a wife, there are a few things, or there is work that you need to put into your marriage. Number one tip that I want to share with us, and that I have seen it really work for my marriage, is that I have learned to protect my husband. And by this I mean, you should learn to protect your spouse. You protect him from friends, and you also protect him from your people, that is his in-laws. By protection, I mean, you're not supposed to sit down with friends, or you're not supposed to sit down with your people discussing your husband. We say that marriage is about two imperfect people coming together with their imperfections and with their weaknesses, trying to improve each other to form a great union. So you're going to sit down with your people and discussing your husband. You have forgotten that you also have your own weaknesses. And the only thing that you're doing, you're not exposing him, you are exposing your own family to them. And that has a great risk, or it can harm your family in a big way, because the moment you go and sit down with people and start discussing the weaknesses of your spouse, you expose your spouse to them. Meaning that even in case in the future that weakness comes to improve, people will not see the improvement that has happened. Else, people will see the same person that you told them about there before. So one of the tips that you need to get as a young wife is protecting your spouse. There are so many challenges that we encounter in marriage, but don't be that wife that whenever something small happens, you're the one to take your phone and start calling people, start calling your friends, start calling your mother, telling them. That is not good for your marriage, and it is going to make your marriage crumble rather than making your marriage become prosperous. So that is tip number one: protect your spouse from his in-laws and also from your friends. So tip number two that I'm going to give to you as a young wife, or something that I've seen it working in my marriage and has helped me to have a smooth marriage, of course not a perfect one, but a smooth marriage, is because the Bible calls me a helper to him. So intentionally, I decided to be a helper to him. And by being a helper, it means that in any area or in any form that my husband needs help, I am there to offer him the kind of help that he needs. Be it in finances, maybe there's something he's supposed to do and is not able to do, and I am there, I can be able to help, then I step in and I help him. So when the Bible calls you helper, it knows that that man cannot make it by himself. You know, sometimes we wives, we just sit and watch our husbands struggle with some things. And you find their wives who say it is his role, it is his responsibility. Kama ni yeye is supposed to pay school fees, let him pay school fees. Kids are sent home because of school fees and you don't care. But I want you to know that God has placed you there in that marriage as a helper. Whatever help that your husband needs from you, always be available to offer that help to him. And you see, our husbands or men are always happy when they see us stepping in or coming in to provide the help that they need. If it is help in terms of spirituality, maybe he needs you to step in, to pray for him. Be there, be available to offer that help to him. So whatever help that your husband needs, just be alert. We women, we are called to be wise and to always be alert. Be alert with your husband. Sometimes you may see your husband behaving in a funny way, maybe not in a usual way that he's used to behaving. Be alert. Just even ask him. You can talk to him in a soft manner and ask him, do you need any help from me? Can I step in any way? Even if you cannot, maybe for example, his issues to do with his workplace, if you cannot, if there's nothing much you can do, you can pray for him. Even praying for him is help that you're giving to him. So as a wife, as a young wife, be intentional about helping your husband. Don't let your marriage crumble. Don't let your marriage face difficulties, whereas you're there and you can offer your help. So whatever help that you can offer to your husband, offer it, because it is not his marriage, it is your marriage. It is the two of you. And it is putting on your effort or putting on your help to see it work. So that is tip number 2. Be intentional about becoming a helper to your husband. Tip number 3 that I want to give to you as a young wife is, or something that I've also seen it working in my own marriage, is because I purposed from the word go to play my roles as a wife. You know, the husband has his own roles, the wife has her own roles. And some of the roles that involves the wife, though right now we have introduced other things that are coming to bring like distraction, they want to show us how equal men can be with the women, how men can get to the kitchen and cook. There's no problem with that. If he's willing to help you with it, well and good. But if your man feels like he's not ready to help you at that time, don't be offended. Don't feel like ni kama anakukalia, ni kama wewe ndio umeachiwa kazi yote and so on. Ama don't be that wife ambaye anasema I cook, uoshe vyombo. Ama I take care of the kids, you mop the house. Hapana. The Bible talks about do not remove the ancient landmarks that were placed there by the forefathers. And these landmarks are the things that we saw our people do long ago. Ebu, look at your family and how you grew up. Who did you see in the kitchen? Who did you see doing the mopping, the washing, and so on? Of course, I know there are those families that fathers used to come in and they're doing some of these things. But whose role is it? Wacha tusijidanganye. Let us not lie to ourselves and start bringing things into our families and into... The issue remains that there are roles that are meant for women. Play your role as a wife. Cook for your husband. Either mumekosana ama hamjakosana, cook for him. Give him food. Don't be that kind of a woman ati when you're not in good terms with your husband, ajisort. You come to the house, you get to the bedroom and you sleep. Your husband has not taken dinner. Your husband doesn't have clean clothes. Your house is dirty. Your children have no one to cook for them only because umekasirika. As a wife, as a mother, play your roles accordingly. And when you do that, your marriage is going to work. The Bible talks about overcoming evil with good. Don't repay evil with evil. Don't be that wife ati because I'm offended na mimi na revenge. Hapana. You're not going to win in this marriage thing. You're going to lose. So play your roles irregardless. Either you're in good terms or you're not in good terms. Know what is meant to be yours and do it, and without complaining, because there are also some women who do a lot but they're still complaining. You're doing but you're complaining, your nyumba ina peace, you're talking, you're hapana. As a wife, do your roles and do whatever you're supposed to do and play your roles well. So another tip that I've seen it work, that is tip number 4, is praying for my husband. And I know I am speaking to you. Maybe you pray or you don't pray, but I want you to know that as a wife, prayer is very, very much important. You need to rise up at a place of prayer. You know, our men or our husbands, when they are outside there, they face so many challenges. Hata sisi, hata our kids and everyone else. But as a woman, stand up in the gap and pray for your husband. There are things you cannot change in him. There are weaknesses he has, and there's nothing you can do about it. Some of those weaknesses are from his generations and from his people, where he has come from. And there's nothing you can do about that. Maybe there are things you didn't know, and once you've started living with him is when you realize, so my husband is like this. And now when you start looking at his background, unaona, there are things he carried. There are things he carried from his people, and he has come with those things to your family. And maybe those things, you don't like them. You've tried to talk to him, but unaona like nothing is happening. I want to tell you that your answer is in prayer. Pray for your husband. Pray for him. Let God intervene. Let God come and help him change those things that he's not able to change. So take your position as a wife, as a young wife especially. This is the place you're laying a foundation for your family. So pray for your husband. Make sure you get some time to pray. Every time you have an opportunity, make sure you mention something to God about him. Pray for wisdom, that God's wisdom will be upon him, not because he's called to be the priest of your house and he's the one to lead your family. Ask God to give him the wisdom that he needs so that he can be able to lead your family well and in the way that he's supposed to. So I want us to do a recap once again. We have said pray for your family. We've said play your roles regardless of anything. We have said respect your husband. Protect your spouse from friends. Protect your spouse from in-laws. Don't go along discussing your spouse and talking things and so on. And we've also talked about what? About respecting. Yes, I think respecting. So I think those are tips that are very, very important that you also need to learn. You also need to put into consideration. And when you do that, you are able to make your marriage a good place that you will stay. Because right now we are saying that every other noise that we are hearing about marriages, we don't want to hear about that. What we are doing, we are putting our focus on what God is saying about marriages. And once you put your focus on the marriage that God created, when he placed Adam and Eve on the Garden of Eden and whatever else that he said to them, once you place your focus on what the Bible is talking about marriages, your marriage is going to work. Don't do comparisons. Don't compare your marriage with another marriage. Don't compare your husband with another husband or your wife with another wife, but make sure that you get to the Bible, you get to the Word of God, understand what the Bible talks about a marriage, understand what idea God had when he placed Adam and Eve in the Garden of Eden. So I hope those tips will be of importance to you. Kindly learn, kindly apply them to your marriage, and especially the tip on prayer. It's very, very much important. That's it for today, guys. Thank you for joining me. Thank you for listening to me, and God bless you. Kindly, if you've not subscribed to this channel, remember that your subscription is very important to us. Kindly like this video, kindly leave a comment down below, and we are saying it shall be well with you, and you will help us also grow in this channel. God bless you, and kindly share this video with your friends. Let them also learn. God bless you. Amen.